I need the technology.
Yo, guys, there is a problem. What they are doing? Yo,
Don't make a war, man.
yo, guys, what you doing,
I
huh?
need all the things.
I need all of them.
What you fighting for?
I'm fighting for his cotton because he has a lot of cotton, and I use my force to get his cotton.
I'm
you
forcing all. I have cotton, and here's the technologies. I need all of them.
Yo, guys, they're wanting for all or nothing. Now I'm gonna explain what's the international trade. So stay tuned.
Average production facilities from average amount of production facilities from here is
Well, so in this lesson we're gonna cover the application on the international trade. Now we will start. So in this chapter we're gonna answer the four main question. Here you can see what's the determination of how much goods a country will import or export, who benefits from the trade, who does trade harm, do the gains outweigh the losses, and so on. Here you can see. So on this fighting situation, Asliddin gonna explain what was the problem and the solution.
Okay. Before explaining the situation, the war, we can just understand some key concepts. For example, if a country has a comparative advantage in a good, if it produces the good at lower opportunity cost than other countries, countries can gain from trade if it exports the goods in which it has a comparative advantage. You can see in this situation, in this problematic situation, I have comparative advantage in producing technology, and Islam has comparative advantage in cotton production. If we trade each other without war, both of us can gain from the international trade. And now we apply the tools of welfare economics to see where these gains come from and who gets them.
The world price and comparative advantage. We have two prices. First of all, world price of a good, the price that prevails in the world market, and the price of domestic products and goods in the country. So in first situation, if the price of goods cost of price of goods lower than the price of world, country has comparative advantage in the goods. So under free trade, country could export the good and making the money. If same situation, but price of domestic goods gonna be greater than price of world, country doesn't have any comparative advantage, so they mostly imports the good. This could be applied for goods based on the country and needs.
So this next topic is the small economy assumption. A small economy is a price taker in the world market. Its actions have no effect on world price. That means if my economy is so small, I don't have put my prices in a world scale, because world economy is considered as the largest economy. So I have to take the price that world economy offers to me. And the next thing is this assumption is not true all the time. For example, US have the large economy, and it somehow affects world economy, but we have to simplify the rules. When a small economy engages in free trade, world price is the only relevant price. That means no seller would accept less than world price, since she could sell the good for world price in world markets. And no buyer would pay more than world price, since he could buy the good for world price in world markets. So yeah.
And on this soybean example, a country that export the soybeans without trade, price of domestic soybean is $4 and quantity is 500, but price of world is 600. As I said, if the domestic price is lower than price of world, under free trade, domestic consumer demand 300 and domestic producer supplied the 750. On this difference, 450 soybeans kilogram or maybe tons, they're going to export for the profit. And here on the red line is world price, $4 domestic price, and the quantities. On it, and just above the equilibrium point, there are export area. Here we can calculate our profits. So on the next page.
Yes, as Jasur mentioned it, international trade. From international trade, both countries can gain. That means we can see in the graph that this is consumer surplus. A and B sides are considered as consumer surplus, and C is producer surplus. If we do not trade internationally, we cannot gain the D side, gains from trade. And most of the countries trade internationally to get this point, gains from trade. And our moral of the story is like this.
Yes. On the summary, the welfare effects of trades. For this situation, if world price is greater than domestic price, the direction of trade exports. The country would export the goods, and the consumer surplus falls because they are exporting the surplus, and this is why this graph gonna fall, and producer surplus rises, it's the opposite, and total surplus is rises. So, and
if when we import goods, another benefit we can get. For example, consumer surplus rises. That means if we import goods from other countries, our consumers can get these goods for cheaper prices and huge diversity. But producer surplus falls. That means the world has a lot of companies, a lot of producers, and our domestic producers can harm because of the competition in the world. But anyways, if we import and export goods, our total surplus always rises.
so whether a good imported or exported trade creates winner and losers, but the gains exceed the losers. So on the whatever we do, whatever they do, the total surplus gonna rise and more, always.
And we can see other benefits of international trade. And first one is consumers enjoy increased variety of goods. We all know that only one country cannot produce all the goods in the world. But with international trade, we can have access to the world market and we can get goods with the variety, huge variety. And another one is producers sell to the large market may achieve lower costs by producing on a larger scale. Our producers can get benefit from world scale because of their comparative advantage of its national country. And competition from abroad may reduce market power of domestic firms, which would increase total welfare. And competition from competition with other countries may increase the quality of goods and may lower the price of goods in domestic scale. And last one is trade enhances the flow of ideas, facilitates and the spread of technology around the world. It says that international trade can spread new technologies, new ideas around the world, and everyone rises together with international trade.
Then why all the opposition to trade? So recall one of the 10 principles from the chapter 1. Trade can make everyone better off. That means after the trade, everyone gets what they need most of the time. The winner from the trade could compensate the loser and still be better off. Yeah, such compensation rarely occurs because the game only winners and losers, but sometimes losers can be benefited. So the losers often highly concentrated among a small group of people who feel things acutely. The gains are often spread silently over many people who may not see how trade benefits them. Hence, the losers have more incentive to organize and lobby for restriction on trade. They may not feel the winning feel, but they can get benefits a little bit.
And another thing we all should know is tariff. Tariff is a tax, is the extra money that put on imports. For example, cotton shirts. If cotton shirts world price is $20 and tariff is $10 for this product, and we're gonna continue with arguments for restricting trade and people who support restricting trade, closed economy. And their first argument is the jobs argument. That means they think that trade destroys jobs in industries that compete with imports, but economists have response to that. Total employment doesn't rise as imports rise, because job losses from imports are offset by job gains in export industries. That means if one country imports t-shirts, clothes from another country, and employees of the textile companies may lose their job, and they think that jobs argument. Trade destroys jobs in industries that compete with imports, and economist response is like that. Total unemployment doesn't rise as imports rise, because job losses from imports are offset by job gains in export industries. For example, one country imports clothes from another and export technologies to the world. And that means if this country imports clothes from other countries, their textile employers lose their jobs, but they can work in